Hello everyone, welcome back to Trailer Time. We are your hosts, Mohit and Jamell, coming back with another Versus episode. Today we have the Battle of the Massholes, Matt Damon versus Mark Wahlberg, two actors that, funny enough, get mistaken for each other all the time, but they have had very different careers throughout the years. But one thing is for sure, they have both entertained us and given us a lot of movies that we love throughout the years, and there's a lot to talk about. I'm Team Damon, Jamel is Team Wahlberg, but before we get too invested into the heat of this battle, we just want to thank everyone for watching our videos. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share them as well to all the friends who you think might be interested, and don't forget to hit the bell icon for all the notifications. Now, let Damon vs. Wahlberg begin.
Alright, crack my bangers. I'm going to break this down on just the work. I know you're probably going to come in with like awards and all this other things that like don't matter. But we're going to talk about the films, man, the actual work, and the credit that this man does not get and deserves as an actor. So let's start with comedy. Wahlberg is one of the GOATs. I'm going to say this right now live. The GOATs of being a funny actor, if that's possible. Other guys. I had to rewatch this before this, and I realized, this is like an underrated comedy performance in cinema. Like, honestly, like all time almost. I mean, Ted. Ted is one of the best comedies of all time too. Like, this is real. Like, also box office wise, it definitely is. So he needs credit for that. People forget that this dude made them like almost piss their pants multiple times. He does rock The Departed. All right, arguably just as much as the other guys. No pun intended, but all pun intended. Okay, just as much as Leo, just as much as your guy Matt Damon. Okay, he kills Matt Damon in that movie. So, spoiler alert, he wins. The thing about Mark Wahlberg also is that he is Boston. Like, more than Matt, more than Ben. Like, when you think of Boston actor, you think of Mark Wahlberg. Boston celebrity, Mark Wahlberg. I mean, dude, he has a burger place, and I've been there.
It sucks.
Overpriced. It's not great.
Yeah.
But he has a burger place. How many burger places does Matt Damon have? None. I looked it up before this just to make sure. All right. He doesn't even have one. Also, talk about Boston stuff. The Fighter, great movie. Super underrated movie. Christian Bale also, I love you if you're watching this. That was like a real genuine performance that like wasn't about comedy. It was like, really showed like a darker side of not only just like his city, but like the people that inhabit it, and also just the sport, which I thought was really dope. Boogie Nights. If you're 13, watch Boogie Nights right now. Let's not forget Marky Mark. Mark Wahlberg is an accomplished rapper. All right, he has music videos and music. Executive producer for Ballers and Entourage.
Oh, Entourage, great show.
Great show. I mean,
great
come on,
show.
like, he's a good writer. There's actually
that.
also a lot more underrated movies that I want to mention that a lot of you guys may remember. Pain and Gain, really funny movie to watch. All right, he carried The Rock. How many people can say that? Come on, he did. Okay, you don't want to acknowledge it? That's Planet of the Apes, the reboot, the first reboot. That was a good movie.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I went back. I was like, I really thoroughly enjoyed this.
If it was a good movie, why was there not a sequel?
Because they couldn't afford Mark anymore, bro. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Leveled up.
Okay.
All right. The Italian Job, great movie.
That is a good movie. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, and
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Invincible is Philly sports now, bro. And then The Lovely Bones, bro. Come on. I know you cried. I cried.
Heartbreaking movie.
I mean, this guy has some serious depth. So he has some serious range. I think we just need to give him this GOAT respect. And I think he's better than this other guy. I don't even know this guy's name. What's his name? Matt Damon? Never heard of him.
I bet. I'll never knock what the work Wahlberg has put into his career. He's done a lot. He's made me laugh. But I think there's just a stark difference between him and Matt Damon. I mean, one of them has an Oscar, the other doesn't. Pretty talented.
That's all you care. Jesus.
Okay, let's get into the word. Let's get into it. Let's just start with the obvious. Good Will Hunting. He wrote it when he was a college student at Harvard. He got a freaking Oscar for it. Talented Mr. Ripley. That's a great movie. I remember reading the book, and I was worried about it being adapted into a movie, But it did a really good job. Well, and Matt Damon, again, really good. Syriana. I think that goes very under the radar of a movie of his.
Okay.
Lesser known, Invictus. I think that's...
Invictus is a well-known movie. Love the movie. South African accent, weird. He doesn't do a good job. Morgan Freeman carries that movie. Morgan Freeman became Nelson Mandela after that. Like when you
That's
think
true.
of like very few people think of Nelson Mandela and don't see Morgan Freeman now.
That's a good point. I'll give you that. But since you bring that up, it's funny you bring that up because also in a lot of Wahlberg's, very highly rated movies, he always kind of gets overshadowed. In Ted, he gets overshadowed by the teddy bear. In the other guys,
Really?
Will Ferrell
That's
is
not fair.
Will
Like,
Ferrell's
that's
a
not-
highlight. In The Fighter, Christian Bale is the better actor of the duo, and
Well,
he's the
okay,
one that
but
won an
Christian
award
Bale
for
is
it.
better. That's not fair.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, first of all, the teddy bear is like the brand of the movie. That doesn't count. He's not a real thing. He's not an actor. Also, it's the
He
dude.
gets overshadowed.
Honestly, no, I disagree. I think they were equal footing on that one.
Well, I think that's up to debate, but I would say I remember Will Ferrell's antics much more than Mark Wahlberg's for sure. Not to say Wahlberg wasn't funny. Back to Matt Damon, he's in all the Ocean's movies. Obviously, that's an ensemble cast, but he stands out enough. I think a really underrated movie he was in is The Brothers Grimm with Heath Ledger. I really remember enjoying that
Did like
one.
that too. I like that.
Yeah. Remember, you brought up The Departed. Obviously everyone's great in that movie, but Damon is one of the standouts. I will say that the best character in The Departed is Alec Baldwin's character. He's in it for maybe 4 or 5 scenes, and he's hilarious in every single one of them. I love him. And I bet Wahlberg really did enjoy killing Matt Damon at the end of the movie. Killing his Hollywood clone, as people would like to say. Matt Damon's surprise appearance in Interstellar honestly made the movie even better than it was, even though it was pretty small. That was a very dark turn for Matt Damon playing the villain. Honestly, he was hilarious in 30 Rock. I don't know if you've seen that or if the viewers have seen it, but 30 Rock, his performance will go down as one of the greatest. My favorite of Matt Damon's work, if you could call it that, is his feud with Jimmy Kimmel. All of those videos, all of those arguments, all of them, every single one is so funny. I love them so much.
Or The Martian, yeah, The Martian. You like Martian?
Honestly, I didn't care for The Martian. I'm gonna be honest. It really didn't do anything for me. He was already an astronaut in Interstellar, and he was better in terms of he was actually a more interesting character. The movie itself was better. Obviously, The Martian, I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I just wasn't a standout performance by him, but he did a good job. So I think Damon, compared to Wahlberg, has just a much more diverse filmography, really. He does the comedy, he does the dramas, he does some TV, and that's something that can't be said about Wahlberg. I think he is diverse, but not as diverse as Matt Damon. People call Mark Wahlberg the poor man's Matt Damon.
No, Matt Damon is the rich man's Mark Wahlberg, and we don't care for those kinds anyway. It doesn't matter. Because Mark Wahlberg is for the people.
I guess it really depends on what side of the argument you're at. But I will give you Wahlberg is Boston. He dives into that part of his persona a lot more than Matt Damon does, for sure. And off the screen, Matt Damon does a lot of humanitarian work. He founded H2O Africa Foundation, which is really important. He's a spokesperson for Feeding America. He's very outspoken about that issue. He started Not Our Watch Project, which helps provide resources in Darfur. So he's been active on and off the screen. But what I will say is, I think both Wahlberg and Damon, regardless of who people think are better, they should be doing more. They have such strong platforms. It's their job to be pushing the industry forward, leading by example. I think he should be doing more, in some topics that resonate during the present times. Take your pick. There's so much going on. You know what I mean? And this industry shouldn't be static, and it should be continuing to evolve. And I think these two guys are in the prime position to push it forward and make it evolve.
Also, with Mark Wahlberg, he definitely owes not just an apology, but he needs to work on his race relations, because history is not great.
Not great.
It's weird as a black dude defending him. But I'm not
first.
gonna lie, the other guy is actually in my top 10 movies of all time, and I'm gonna admit that right now. So I will give you that. But dude, do better.
What's your favorite Matt Damon movie?
That's a great question. No, I can't say it because I'm gonna destroy my argument.
Say it.
No comment.
No comment. None of his movies are your favorite. Fair enough. Honestly,
right, what is your favorite Mark Wahlberg movie?
I think it's got to be Ted. I've watched Ted. I remember seeing Ted the first time, and I could not stay in my seat. It was so funny. Every single moment of that. I think a combination of him and Seth MacFarlane.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it.
Sorry, it just came to my. I just realized. Okay, I'll give his Ocean's performances are incredible.
Yeah.
He's easily after Brad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big George Clooney guy. After Brad, he might be the best person in those movies.
Exactly. He's also technically like the younger kid of the group, so he like has to stand out even more, and I think he does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted for me, really, for Mark Wahlberg, hits it out of the park. But I know, both Damon and Wahlberg have done bad movies too. I mean, like Matt Damon did The Great Wall. I'll never understand who thought that was a good idea. It was made, but Wahlberg's done probably the two worst Transformers movies.
Yeah, I mean,
giant robots fighting will be always entertaining.
I was hoping
but
you wouldn't bring it up.
Yeah, sorry. I gotta put everything out in the open. All right, what would you rate Matt Damon overall?
All right, overall, I am a fan. Your argument for him was, is poor.
Okay.
Has a lot of holes in it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a 6.89 out of 10.
Oh my god.
And then I'm gonna give Matt Damon. I'm gonna give him an 8.11 out of 10.
I'll give your argument a 6 out of 10 because it's probably just as weak as mine.
Wow.
You don't deserve any extra credit because I don't think you brought anything to the table that I didn't, and I feel like I brought more, to be honest.
You're a criminal.
I like Wahlberg. I'll give him a 7.5. No, I think I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8 because he did do The Fighter and he did do The Lovely Bones, which are kind of breaking the mold for him, and he sticks to like the comedy stuff a little too much nowadays. But I'll give him an 8.
He's like unrecognizable. If you watch like Ted and The Fighter, it's like he's like actually unrecognizable.
He does do what he needs to do, but he could use some race relations work, like as you said. But
yeah, man. Guys, go to Wikipedia and look at his fucking bad. It's terrible.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Our thoughts on Damon versus Wahlberg, the Battle of the Massholes. Let us know which masshole is your favorite. Which movies of theirs do you like? Leave a comment down below. Feel free to message us on all social media platforms. If you have any ideas of videos that you'd like to see us do, let us know. We'd be more than happy to take your advice into account. We really appreciate you guys watching these, showing some love. So we appreciate it. And then again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell icon for all the notifications, and we'll catch you next time.